Hey everyone, so I wanted to sit down with everyone and go over my wife and I's recent apartment hunting in Orlando area and give everybody a heads up of what to expect. So recently, a few weeks ago, my wife and I went to Orlando. We spent about 7 nights. We put aside some time to be able to look at apartments. What we did was previously, about a month before we went on our trip, we looked online, we looked at reviews on apartments, we looked at the areas, and we looked at the schools. Whatever ones we thought were good for the kids with school and had good reviews, we went ahead on their websites and you're able to book dates and times to schedule tours to look at the apartments. You can also go ahead and call the apartment complex itself and get dates and times all scheduled before you go. So I would suggest you do that before you go. It just makes it a lot easier. But we looked in Orlando, Kissimmee, Windermere, Champions Gate, Davenport, Winter Garden, and finally Clermont. So when we went, we had full intentions of living closer to the parks, whether it was Universal Studios or a Disney theme park. It's kind of crazy how it all panned out, but we ended up in Clermont, the furthest place that we looked in correlation to the parks. So it's kind of funny how that happens. So it's okay, like when you guys go ahead and look for places to check out, maybe expand your horizon a little bit or your search area. Like if you're thinking you want to be close to Disney, for instance, maybe even look 15 miles out and just see what's out there. You might find something that you like even more. Who knows? But it's worth a look. But in today's video, I just wanted to go over with everyone our experiences, what you can expect when you're in the apartment search. I would suggest that you guys, if possible, it's good if you guys go down for maybe a week or 5 days and look at places before you get there. It's going to make your lives a whole lot easier when you get there and a lot less chaotic. One thing that's important to know, apartment prices in Florida, they fluctuate day to day. So let's say you called an apartment complex today, the price for the monthly rent was $1,350. You can call that same complex tomorrow and the price might be $1,365. And then you can call it the next day and maybe it's $1,340. So it really all depends on a day-to-day basis how that works. Another time, like say for instance, you're trying to move during peak season. Well, they're going to capitalize on that and you're going to pay more rent. So it's also important to just know what the peak seasons are in Florida as to when you're planning your move. Because maybe you want to move when it's not peak season and you're saving monthly rent for that entire term of your lease, whether it's 6 months all the way up to 15 months we've seen. We signed a 15-month lease, but you're saving all that money, so it's important to know that. So I wanted to kind of go over what to expect what they're looking for from you to be able to get approved for your apartment. So all the places are looking for 2 to 3 times that you could show that you make more than the minimum. So all the apartment complexes, they want to make sure that you make at least 2 to 3 times the rent. So let's say that your apartment is $1,350 a month. So you may have to prove that your household income makes 3 times that amount. We've seen places in Orlando area that you need only 2 times monthly rent. We've seen 2.5 times monthly rent, and we've seen it as high as 3 times monthly rent. That's what we're dealing with, 3 times monthly rent. But also keep in mind, it's my wife and I, so they're taking into the equation both of our incomes, where if there's only one of us, it might be a little harder. But if you guys have a spouse or a significant other, they're going to take their earnings into the equation as well. One thing that's important to know, say you're moving from a different state. If you're not transferring your job, you're going to need a job offer letter. What that means is you're going to have to put applications out far in advance and get technically hired from this job, whatever it may be, that you're going to be working. So they're going to want to see how much you're making per hour and how many hours per week that you're working. That's how they're going to determine if you're going to get approved or not approved. So you'll need job offer letters for you and your spouse. They're also going to run your credit score, so they're going to be looking for a minimum of 620 or higher. That's going to be for you and your spouse. They're going to run both. They're also going to run the criminal background check, and then they're also going to run to see if there are any past evictions in your guys' past. That's a sticking point for them, we've noticed, so if you have any evictions, that might be a little tricky for you guys. Another thing that we've noticed, we have pets, so a lot of these places require pet rent. We've seen that as low as $10 per pet. We've seen it as high as $30 per pet. Now keep in mind, like we have a cat and a dog. We have to pay that fee per each pet. So if it was $10 per pet, we pay $20 per month. $30 per pet, we're going to pay $60 per month. So you're going to want to keep that in mind. And for dogs, a lot of them have, for the apartment complexes, have weight restrictions. So some of the apartment complex maybe only allowed a dog that's 35 pounds or under. We've seen other apartment complexes that are 70 pounds or under. And we've also seen some that don't mind at all about the weight of the dog. So you're going to have to keep that into the back of your head. So you're going to have to know that when you're looking as well. Another topic with the animals again. So with dogs, a lot of the apartment complexes won't allow any aggressive breeds. What we've seen typically on their list of aggressive breeds are husky, boxers, and pit bulls. So like for instance, we have a dog that's a mutt. She's a mixture of 4 different dogs, but she's part husky. So a lot of the places, they wouldn't allow her. So we had to find a specific apartment that is going to allow any kind of a breed. So keep that in mind as well. Another thing as far as parking, so a lot of the apartment complexes are going to give you, I believe, 2 spots, outdoor parking. So if you have 2 cars, you're A-okay. But your thing is, like for us, we have a convertible with a soft top. And we're kind of nervous with the Florida rain letting the car out there. So we need a garage. So a lot of the apartment complexes, they're going to offer garages, but it's going to be at an extra fee per month. They're not included. We've seen them as low as $100 per month and as high as $140 per month. And remember, that's not going to be included in your rent. That's going to be an extra fee. But one good thing about having the garage, you're going to have extra space for storage. Remember, it's Florida. The only thing you have is your 2 closets, maybe 3 closets in your apartment. So if you have extra storage in your garage, that's good for your Christmas tree, you know, the holiday decorations, or just extra storage in general, whatever you have to put out there. Like, I understand it kind of stinks because you have to pay for a garage, but you're also gaining extra storage that you wouldn't have had normally. So a lot of the apartments also offer like little storage closets, essentially. It's basically like the size of a walk-in closet that you can rent. Usually the fee is about $20 to $40 per month. But if you didn't need a garage, you can always go that route and you'll be able to do it that way. So if you need extra storage, that's a good thing to have. Another thing I wanted to go over, like specifically to our apartment complex, for us to rent there, we had to get their internet package through Spectrum. So Spectrum encompasses a lot of Florida, so that's their internet there. But you have to have it if you're going to rent there. So like our fee is $132 per month. And again, you have to pay it. But you're getting your internet. I believe we're getting 160 channels. That also includes our trash and our pest control once a week. So you do pay that fee for that, but keep in mind, you're also getting other things as well. But you do have to know, you have to get that package. So some places require something like that. Some places they're not going to require something like that. So again, just keep that in mind. Ask questions when you tour these places. Like any kind of questions you may have. I would definitely ask questions. Like I recommend, if possible, if you guys can, for whatever, however, get to Florida, maybe spend a week prior to you guys moving, schedule your tours, check out all of the areas. And again, we were looking to move closer to the parks. We ended up a half hour away, but that ended up working fantastic for us. My wife's job is nearby, so is mine, and the school district in Clermont is fantastic. So that's another good thing if you have kids. Always keep that in mind, the schools in Florida. So yeah. So if you have any other questions, please leave a comment down below. Anything we can help you with, anything I didn't answer, we'd be happy to answer for you. If not, we'll be able to find out the answer and get right back to you. Thanks for watching, and as always, make today awesome.